Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Clear the Ice, the premiere or the top shelf of Philadelphia Flyer postgame entertainment out there on any media platform here on the Edge of Philly Sports with your boy Matty B, and it's an honor and a privilege to be back here on the program. It's only our third episode of the 2022-23 season. And of course, there's a reason for that, right? We've been kind of dealing with the Phillies postseason run, but now we're back, and starting tonight, we should be coming at you on our regularly scheduled time after every Flyers game over the next 6 months, and it's awesome. It's awesome to transition back to my, let's face it, my first love. I'm a hockey guy, true and true. And as we've talked a little bit briefly on the other shows of the season, again, this is our third one. The Flyers have been kind of impressing some people this season, to me included. I know there was a lot of contentionism, and we're probably going to be bringing this up throughout the season about how we were lied to and bamboozled by the owner and the GM. But through 11 games, the Flyers find themselves sitting 7-3-2, and that's tonight. And thanks to a 5-1 thrashing of the St. Louis Blues, who now lost their eighth straight. So we know a little bit about those types of losing streaks here in Philadelphia when it comes to our hockey team. Things are not really going well for Craig Berube and the St. Louis Blues, as they are scuttling, to say the least. Tonight was no different for them as they met the Flyers down there in South Philadelphia, and a game that saw the Flyers going ahead with Felix Sandstrom got the nod tonight for the Flyers due to the, illness of Carter Hart. Now, I've done some research on it. I don't see what the illness is. I don't think it's COVID. They're not saying, at least I'm not seeing it. But a last-minute scratch happened this afternoon, and Sandstrom got the nod, and he did not disappoint. 27 saves, and only gave up one goal, and that was in the end of that was in the third period. And the Flyers pretty much had this game at hand early on, scoreless after one, and then the Flyers kind of took it to them in the second period. Wade Allison at the 10-11 mark with his third goal of the year from Provorov and Farabee. Travis Konecny at the 16:37 point. His fifth of the year as he continues to his resurgence under Arnold Tortorella from Tippett and Hayes. Hayes collected his 10th assist tonight of the season. And then Noah Cates at the 19:57 mark. Folks, there ain't nothing like in hockey scoring a goal in the last 3 seconds of a period. Not only does it boost your team so much, it just kicks the crap out of your opponent as you head into the dressing room literally at the last second, giving up a goal. Noah Cates is second from Sanheim and Lautinen, and that was what your score was heading into the second period or third period, 3-0 Flyers. And then Ryan O'Reilly would get the Blues on the net on the board at the 5:22 mark of the third period as he made it 3-1. And then Sedlak with his first goal as a Flyer coming from Sealer and Cates at the 6:44 mark, 4-1, and then Noah Tippett would add the insurance goal there at the end, his third from Travis Konecny. And then we have 5-1 Flyers as they handled their business tonight emphatically, so to speak, as they actually outshot the Blues tonight, 35-28. And a part of the game that's really the Flyers have struggled with in 2022-23. Heading into this game, they were not doing well on the goals for or shots for, shots against. But after tonight's performance, they've improved a little bit on the season. They've allowed 429 shots, and they've accumulated 326 shots of their own. Still not what you want, but you just got to look a little bit past that, I guess. And this team is just doing it with spit and duct tape. You know, they really are. Another gutsy effort tonight. Breaking out the retros tonight, man. Listen, I don't know about you guys, but I kind of dig them. I like the old retro uniforms. I would like it even better if they wore the pants. And I know they can't do that, partly because of what they did back in the 80s when they wore pants. That was the rule was in place to stop them from doing that. But, they wear those pants during warm-ups, and then they switch to the shorts. But, boy, you know what? Let's not mess around with it, man. Jump all the way in the pool. Wear them pants. But no, I kind of like the retros. They definitely do remind me of a forgotten age of hockey in this town. So the Flyers, another impressive victory tonight, 5-1 over the Blues, moved the record on the season 7-3-2, and that is good for that's pretty good. That's good for third place or Yeah, fourth place in the Metro, 16 points now. They're 4 points behind the surging New Jersey Devils, who somehow find themselves at 10-3 after a very sketchy start to the season, but they've rebounded pretty nicely with their young talent out there in Jersey. And but the Flyers are holding their own. You gotta give them to them. You gotta heading into the season, they didn't have it, and then you factor in Sean Couturier, James Van Riemsdyk, Ryan Ellis, Cam Atkinson, all who have been on the IR for some time. Obviously, JVR was the new addition to the IR earlier in the week. That's $27 million of your cap sitting on injured reserve, and the Flyers are still finding ways to win games. It's very impressive, and it speaks volumes to what John Tortorella has meant to this team. It speaks volumes to the fact that the team is buying into what John Tortorella is selling. I don't know how long that lasts. We've already kind of seen how this has worked out for Tortorella in past places, where after a few years, the message kind of starts to fall on deaf ears. But message is being received right now, and the Flyers are playing very good hockey. Um, is this a is this something that we should be expecting this season? I don't know. I mean, the hockey season is a long, arduous affair. If the Flyers can get some of these players back, like Couturier and Atkinson, if they can get them back in the lineup, who knows? I don't know. And if they continue to play like this, I don't know if this is more of what we should see on a nightly basis. I've said this from the very beginning of the season that I thought that the Flyers were they were going to be a more competitive team. But the bottom line was they just didn't have enough of it up front. They just didn't have enough talent. I still kind of think that way. I still think that things are not going to work out um, favorably for the Flyers throughout the rest of the season, but I definitely am liking what I'm seeing. How can you not like what you see? They're a team that's playing hockey. They're playing team hockey. They're sticking up for each other. It's been a beautiful thing to witness, especially what we've been watching over the last couple of years. Tonight is no different. A 5-1 victory over the Blues in probably their most complete game of the season, where they outshot the team. The Flyers were 0 for 1 on the power play tonight. That's not encouraging. What's encouraging is that they only gave up 2 power plays of their own. That's very encouraging. I think they had 10 penalties the other night, so that's encouraging. For the season now, on the power play, the Flyers are 8 for 41. That works out to about 20% proficiency, and I'll take it, man. I will take 8 for 41 through 12 games when we dealt with 28 for 233 of all last season. I will take it. The Flyers are 20 goals away from tying the total of power play goals that they had last season. So where do I sign up? I'm taking that all day long. As I mentioned, outshot the Blues tonight, 35-28. Still, though, for the season, are being outshot 429 to 326. That is something they got to get better. That's been one of the problems that this team has had, is just giving up way too many shots a game. But tonight was a very positive sign as they continue their winning ways, 7-3-2 now on the season. Next up for the Flyers, well, guess what? The captain returns. Claude Giroux and the Ottawa Senators will be in on Saturday, an afternoon affair down South Philly. Flyers and Senators, 1 p.m. start on Saturday. And of course, we'll be there after it all comes final to talk about it with you. Your stars of the game tonight, let's go over them real quick. Your number one star, let's face it, he deserves it. Felix Sandstrom, who's been real shaky in net for the Flyers this season, giving up some sus goals when given the opportunity. Got the spot start tonight for the sick Carter Hart, not injured, but illness of Carter Hart. Don't know what that illness is. Again, I have not seen what it might be. Don't know if it's COVID. But Sanderson stood tall tonight, 27 saves with a 964 save percentage. He is your first star of tonight's game. Noah Cates with a goal and assist is your second star. And Travis Konecny, as I said, continues his resurgence, a goal and assist. He is your third star of the game as the Flyers defeat the Blues, as mentioned, 5-1, handing St. Louis their 8th straight regulation defeat. Man, again, I feel for you. We know all about that here in Philadelphia when it comes to those multiple game losing streaks, as we know all too well. So there you have it. Flyers 5-1 over the Blues. Next game is on Saturday against the Ottawa Senators. 1 p.m. start down there in South Philadelphia. Until then, folks, that's pretty much going to wrap me up. It's been great to be back. It's a rapid fire post game show. It was a pretty interesting game. It was, as I said, probably the most complete game they've played all season long. They spent great puck movement, good flow, very physical. They were spending more time in the offensive zone. As I mentioned, it's been one of the problems, the bugaboos of this team this year. It's been giving it the shots allowed and time in zone, their own zone. That was not the case tonight, as they pretty much dictated play all night to a struggling Blues team who was coming off of a back-to-back. They played the Bruins last night. They're just really, really shuffling right now, scuttling bad. Flyers got them at the right time. Hey, it happens like that. We've had our own problems when it comes to those back-to-backs this season, so you're not going to get any pity from me. But the Flyers handled their business tonight. Blues were never really into this game. The Flyers pretty much had them from the beginning and just, kept peppering it, kept going to the net. And that's what happens. Eventually, you're going to get rewarded, and they were in the third period as they scored 3 goals en route to a 5-1 victory. 5-1 Flyers tonight over the Blues. 7-3-2 now on the season. Before we leave, let's head over to our Connor Bednar feature here on the show. This is the segment where we take a look at the progress of the highly touted young man, Connor Bednar, the center for the Regina Pats of the Western Hockey League, and where he stands so far this year. Of course, he is the consensus generational player that will be coming out in this summer's NHL draft. So far for Connor, through 16 games played this year, he's got 13 goals, 18 assists, 31 points, 20 penalty minutes, and he's a +8. So digging them numbers there, Connor. Keep it up. But right now, folks, geez, the way the Flyers are playing, I don't know if they're going to even be in the sweepstakes without the way the Blues are playing and some other teams out there. But the Connor Bednar watch continues here on the program, and we'll be checking in on Connor on every show, seeing his progress as he continues his season as supposedly the next best thing in hockey as he gets ready to come out in the draft this summer. So that's going to do it, folks. Thank you for coming on tonight. Again, rapid fire, but we'll be back on Monday or Saturday to talk some Flyers, some Flyer Senators. Until then, go Flyers.